everyone, it's BDevine and welcome to the frequently asked questions about love and relationships. And there are so many people that have the same questions about this situation, and I know everybody is different, everyone has their own views about things. But one of the things that is a big question, and especially well, I was going to say especially in younger relationships, but not always. Sometimes this happens a lot as you get older as well. But it's leaving a toxic relationship. Okay, so you've done the right thing and you've walked out of something that just wasn't right for you. And then you are finding trouble trusting again. Now, the biggest problem that I found with people is that, and even within myself, is that when I was in the toxic relationship and when I was, in the worst depression and violent situation you can imagine, when I was in there, I used to think to myself, if only I could meet somebody that would rescue me. That was the first thing. Whisk me away from all of this and take me into this wonderful life. The second one was that if I left this situation, I may be murdered. And the third situation was that who would want me after all of this trouble has gone on in my life, and how can I even trust anybody ever again after all of the things that I've given to this person? And this is what I want to talk about today, is you've left the toxic situation. Now how do you go about trusting? Is there going to be somebody else there? And the very first thing that you have to say to yourself if you've left the situation is forget about anybody else right now. Do not think about anybody else or hooking up with anybody else or just having someone there for comfort or anything like that, because you are missing the whole point. You are moving away from one thing and going into something else. That is not fair on the other person anyway. But most importantly, it's not fair on you. You have left this situation. You've got a whole ton of stuff that you need to filter out in your mind. This stuff is going to be making you angry. At first you're going to be leaving and you're going to be strong and you're going to be like, right, I'm going to get away from this. I've got my place where I'm going to go to. I've got all these things in place. So mentally you've got stuff in place and you're strong at that point. Then it's going to come to a point where you're really upset. Okay, so you're crying and you're really, really sad that things didn't work out. And when people get to this point where they're really, really sad, things have, not worked out for them, a lot of people go back. Okay, they go back to that relationship and they're crying and the other person is crying and there's all these promises made, and the next thing you know, as soon as something goes wrong in the other person's life, you're the one that's in trouble for it, and been there, done that. Okay, so be careful that you're not going to go back in the crying stage. And then there is the stage where you're really, really angry. So you get over that and then you become really, really angry. And what will rub salt in the wounds even more is if the other person has then suddenly got somebody else very, very quickly. And it may even be someone that you know, or it may be someone that they denied knowing or having any feelings for, and suddenly they're with them. And you're feeling like, oh my God, you're feeling terrible. You may even look terrible because you haven't been really taking care of yourself too well. And there they are, enjoying themselves as though nothing has happened. Please don't make the mistake of retaliating and finding the first person you can find just so you can strut your stuff in front of them. The game playing needs to stop, okay? I know I've made all of these mistakes that I'm talking about. That's why I'm mentioning these things. I probably know what you're thinking and feeling as you go. But the main thing that you need to worry about is getting yourself well. Actually dealing with the grief of what you've been through. This is like you've spent a lot of time with this person, you've put a lot of energy into this person. You wanted things to work out, you imagined things working well, you'd been praying that things would change and that you would be able to stay with this person and they would just see your point of view and they would understand you and they would love you like they used to love you in the beginning. All of that is gone now, okay? And it's just, all it meant was that this person was showing you something that you need to look out for in the future. If anyone is going to treat you in any of these ways in the future, you're going to recognize those symbols much more quickly than you would have You know, so when you first went into that relationship, you were completely open, you know, you were completely trusting, never in a million years dreaming that someone would treat you in that way, because you're so wonderful to them, fun, happy, beautiful, whatever it is. You know, you wouldn't think someone would treat you that way. So you've just been shattered. You've gone through a very, very shocking experience, and you know, you're going to be upset. You're going to grieve for this. You've always wanted to help that person. That's what you're here on earth to do, actually, you know, is to help people. So here was your chance, you know. There was someone that you could really work with, but they just wouldn't listen. So take yourself away from the situation. Resist all urges to call, to email, to text, to gloat, you know, teasing them and, you know, all those sorts of things. You completely shut down. You have to do that for yourself. You are going to move on to something that's even better, you know, much, much better than you can even imagine right now. But if you fall into the trap of going out with somebody that doesn't mean anything to you, just to upset the other person, if you fall into that trap, then you are delaying this happiness for yourself much, much longer. Because then you might even start having feelings for that person which you never intended to happen, and then they don't want you after a time, and you're right back in the same situation. This is where a lot of girls especially get this feeling of, nobody wants me, I'm unattractive, I'm not as sexy as this person because they went straight out with them and they're, you know, 10 times thinner than I am, and they're even 10 years younger than I am, you know, and all these things. You tear yourself down. You must keep your integrity, and the inner strength that you have within is there, okay? And you are beautiful, and you are worthy, and you do deserve the greatest love experience in your life. This was not it, okay? How do you trust somebody else? By trusting yourself. By building yourself up, by building your strength up within yourself, you know, working on yourself, perhaps start getting a new haircut, perhaps start going for walks at night, because after all you're going to have the time to do that, because you're not going to be doing their washing and cleaning up after them and all their friends that they have over. You know, you're going to be able to do all those things. You take a big walk, you take a long brisk walk every night, and at those times you are thinking, and you are releasing, and you are thinking of stuff that comes up, and you are letting it go. And sometimes on those walks you're going to start walking really, 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 really fast, because the more you walk, the madder you're getting about stuff that they did to you, okay? But let someone else deal with it now. You know, if you think that they're going to treat someone else differently than you, they may at the beginning, just like they sort of got you in. So they may at the beginning, but believe it or not, sooner or later, that person's going to cop what you copped as well. And sometimes even worse, because they're truly bad that you've moved on and you don't want them back. So this poor person's going to cop it even worse than you do. Beware of someone who's on the rebound, because you're just going to get very, very hurt. And don't go out with somebody on a rebound either, because the same. So you build up this thing within yourself. You know, you allow feelings to come up. You allow yourself to be really annoyed, and you allow yourself to be hurt. All of those things. You write things down, you keep a diary, but you strengthen yourself. Surround yourself with people who care about you. Forget anybody who is associated with this person. This was a toxic relationship. You don't want to hear gossip, you don't want to check out their Facebook, nothing. Don't give them the satisfaction of doing all these things, because then you still obviously are showing that you care. Okay? When you move away from the toxic relationship, you need to give time for yourself. And I'm keep on telling you this, because the longer you delay that process, the longer it will be before you're ever happy. In the meantime, while you're doing all these things, you're actually going to be releasing a whole lot more than just this person. Maybe this is your third or fourth person that is like this in your life. Get back to all those other issues that you've had with those other people, and you know, work through that, whilst you're constantly surrounding yourself with love and support. That is where you need to be in your life. The right person for you is going to be somebody who has also gone through all of these other issues in their life. You know, they've gone through all of these other things, and they've worked out where they want to be in their life. They're perhaps, you know, on a spiritual path that you are on, which is very, very important. If you're a spiritual person and you meet someone who is not spiritual, you're going to find that it just doesn't really work anyway, even if they're the nicest person in the world. Just be careful of that. Make sure that you're putting out your intentions to the universe of all the things that you really do want and not the things that you don't want. But please don't rush into this. Not even, you should wait at least 12 months after a bad breakup like this before you even think about moving on. And do not think that you're going to be left on the shelf. Don't think that nobody will want you. None of those things. That's all going to be left behind in the 12 months that you are healing yourself. Do your best not to go out and have one-night stands or, you know, hooking up with different people but not keeping connected. Do your best to stay away from all of that. I know that sometimes stuff happens, you know, and you just get yourself caught in that situation, whatever. But most of all, don't feel guilty about anything. Just see the mistake that you had. It's really not a mistake, but for want of a better word, you know, you had this relationship with somebody else. It didn't work. You gave them all your trust, you gave them all your love. You feel like you've given them all your heart. You haven't. Okay, you gave them a piece of yourself that they will never forget. They will never forget you either. You've taught them a whole lot of stuff. You're probably going to be on their mind for the rest of their life because they may not have heard this video and know how to get over you. You know what I mean? So, you know, the rest of their life they may constantly be in confliction with the next person that comes along and so on, because it won't be you. Because they will realise as they grow and mature just how much, you know, you actually did do for them. And no one else has been able to fill that spot. But that is their problem, not your problem anymore. Someone will love you for who you are, but you must love and care for yourself first, or else you are just going to meet somebody who does not care about themselves, doesn't care about you know, healing or growing or learning or anything. They may be very, very nice, but then you're going backwards again. So leaving a toxic karmic relationship is the greatest thing that you could ever do for yourself and also for that person. You know, you are going to, you were given that relationship to teach you many, many, many things. And it may not be till later on in your life where you realise just how much you needed to have that relationship so that you could show and possibly teach other people, teach your children, whatever it is to avoid. And you will know the signs now, you know, of what to avoid in a toxic relationship, and you'll be able to walk out of it. But with this thing, if you are really healing yourself properly, the next person that you come into your life would be more than likely the real deal for you, instead of mucking around and fooling around and messing around and all that for another 10 years or something. You know, really, really focus on yourself and get through this. You know, work on your chakras, work on healing your body, work on healing your soul. You know, if you have children, spend time with your children. Don't be angry and push them away and say, look, I just don't want to talk to you right now, and push them away. Just let them come and let them help you to heal, as they are great healers also. So I hope that that helps somebody out there. I would like to talk, I could probably talk for a long time about this. Perhaps I'll write some things up about this for you guys. But I do have 3 articles that are very, very helpful. Karmic relationships, soulmate relationships, and twin flame relationships. At my website, I'll put the links down below. And have a read and see if you are in, you know, these categories, especially in the karmic relationship. If you're in that category, you'll start to recognize stuff in there. And, you know, you'll recognize stuff about your partner, and then you'll be able to make a better decision about what you're going to do. It is never wrong to care enough about yourself to walk out of a situation that's killing you. Okay? No matter what religion you are or what you believe in, it is never wrong to do that. Okay? That is just a trap to keep you in a relationship and to keep you miserable. And you deserve to be free, and you deserve to be the beautiful, happy being that you are. So I hope this helps somebody out there. And please let me know what kind of videos you would like to see. This is your channel. This is about love and relationships. You have questions about those, put them down below. I've got spirit guide ones, angel ones, and all sorts of things like that, just in spirituality in general as well. So thank you again. Thank you for the questions. And until the next video, it's goodbye from me. Bye.